Hey everybody, it's Eric with District 82 Pinball. I'm working on Data East Jurassic Park. So what happened is this is the dinosaur mechanism here without the plastic pieces on. The mouth would stop working. It wouldn't close. So when he grabs the ball and picks it up, you know, he doesn't actually chomp it, or he doesn't actually close to work. Now what fires that is this coil right here. Now the very first thing most people probably think of is all the transistor, the coil, whatever. I've worked on a lot of Jurassic Parks. You see this wire right here, this wiring bundle. There's a couple of bad points where, especially right here where it flexes, that you can see has already been electrical tape. I repaired that about 7 years ago, prior to me having District 82. And so what I'm checking here is the very first thing I checked was that there was continuity from, first thing I checked is the coil, just to make sure the coil was still good, which it was. Did that on ohms test. But then I checked the continuity through the white wire and through the black wire. Now the black wire was fine, but I'll show you what I'm doing here. So this wire goes all the way around and goes back onto the playfield. So let's lift this up and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I basically got one wire attached here, right? And it's going to my meter. Okay, and I have this on essentially ohms test, so it beeps if you get a connection, it just beeps. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up. Okay, now the wire comes down into here and goes into this, and you can, just to make sure that it's not actually attached to anything else, you can unplug it. And I've got the black and the white right there. So right now it's hooked up to the white, and I'll just put it right here so you can actually see it. And if you test it, I get nothing at all. Now usually it doesn't just like stop. Oh, there it goes. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the sign that you got a flaky connection. Okay, and as I push the dinosaur up and down, it comes and goes. So basically I just need to redo the wiring. I needed to redo the wiring, so now it's stopped again. It's probably got like one strand holding it, and it's not enough. And I'm gonna replace both the black and the white, and the yellow. I'll see if I can find the break, which will probably be at that point, and repair it. Otherwise I got to replace the whole wire. Okay, so I have taken off that electrical tape, and just as I suspected, the white wire has broken. Now the quick fix would be just to solder this back together, rewrap it in electrical tape, put it back in. I mean, it did last for 7 years initially, but it's a weak point. I'm gonna cut it back a little bit and just run a new wire from here up, so that way the flexible part is actually a fresh stranded wire, and hopefully that doesn't occur again. Okay, so I have cut off the old wire, left that portion in there, cut it back like a ½ inch, pulled out the old wiring from the sheath, okay, and put in 2 new wires. And I just did white and black to match the originals, so that way if I ever have to trace this back again, I'll know the correct wire colors. So now I'm going to attach them here, shrink tube it all together, and then put it back together again. Okay, I heat shrink tube the individual wires. Now I'm going to put one more piece of heat shrink, or I'm going to slide this over and put one more piece of heat shrink over the entire thing, and that should wrap it up. Okay, I slid the silver covering back over, or gray covering back over, and then I put a piece of heat shrink tube over the whole thing. Now it looks nice and clean. And now I'm going to put the wires back in, measure this so there's enough slack, attach it to the coil, and give this thing a test. Okay, I'm all done with it, and you turn it on, and it'll go through the diagnostic routine. Going down, it comes back up, closes its mouth, flaps it a few times, and then I'll go ahead and put the plastics back on the dinosaur and then test it with gameplay, but it's all fixed. Okay, and the final test is actually to put a ball in there and see if he'll actually eat it properly. So that's it. That's what it was, a busted wire on the coil.